Apollo has defeated Leonidas while revealing some of the most overpowered and broken attacks in the entire series, pushing the son of Zeus around the top as one of the strongest characters in all of Record of Ragnarok. Everything will be explained in today's video, but first it's important to note that the gods have taken back the lead after a very long time. Beelzebub was able to ruin humanity's record after Buddha and Huang got back-to-back wins. Now we have back-to-back god wins between Apollo and Beelzebub. But let's go over some of the broken stuff Apollo actually did throughout this chapter, and of course Leonidas as well, who I've seen a lot of people hating on of recent. In the full chapter, he's much more respected and did some pretty wild stuff, and I will be breaking down how strong both fighters are in future videos. But the main thing I want to talk about in today's video is after Apollo unleashed his bow, we got the following said about it. First, its narration. Apollo's golden arrows are swift like light. If they were to hit a human being, they would die instantly before they can feel any pain. That's the legend associated with Apollo's bow and arrow here, already emphasizing swift like light, where we get various other comparisons to light throughout this chapter as well, making us believe that this is a light speed attack from the likes of Apollo. With this being followed up by Hermes stating the following: that's the fastest blow in the world of the gods, an absolutely insane statement. And then Zeus follows up as well. It's a technique that even the giants were helpless to defeat. In the heavens, only someone like me could resist that arrow. So if you take in everything that was said here, Hermes states it's the fastest blow in the world of the gods, meaning no attack out of any other god is faster than this, and that the only god we've seen so far who could deal with this attack is the likes of Zeus, and this is probably due to his fist that surpassed time. If this is a light speed attack, the only thing that can surpass it is something that's above time itself, meaning Apollo is absolutely busted, the fastest attack in the entire series, not including Zeus's fist that surpassed time, as that's kinda on a new realm of speed and power overall. We got another statement claiming that Apollo's arrow is the strongest of the heavens, meaning it's not just the fastest, it's also the most deadly, and that when Leonidas pulled out the true version of his shield, it's regarded as humanity's strongest shield. In the previous fight, we got the claim that Beelzebub's shield was actually the strongest when it comes to the gods, likewise with his spear. Now we got humanity's strongest shield, wielded by Leonidas here. And now, guess what Apollo was able to do in this clash? Smash through the strongest shield of humanity and defeat Leonidas. Well, that's what we initially expected. We see that the Valkyrie was actually destroyed by Apollo's attack here. However, this left an opening for Leonidas to actually land a blow and potentially finish the fight, or make it a draw, something I've been waiting for some time. This is where we have the confusing, or I guess a little bit controversial part regarding the end of the fight, so look closely. We see Leonidas grab Apollo. Apollo is visibly shocked. He gets ready to throw a shot. We have the insane face of Leonidas here alongside his Valkyrie, demonstrating that this is their final chance. We see him landing the blow here. Very clearly the blow connects, and then we see Apollo just looking at Leonidas with this blank stare. A mark is actually shown where the blow actually hit, and Leonidas' body begins to shatter into pieces. As such, he is defeated. So the question a lot of people have been talking about is whether Leonidas actually landed this blow. If you look at the previous panels before Leonidas actually grabbed Apollo, there's no mark on his face whatsoever. Then when we cut to the panel after this, we see that there's a mark on Apollo's face, implying that Leonidas did actually land that blow, but it didn't do any damage. Why is this? It's either Apollo is too tanky, or due to him taking out Leonidas' Valkyrie, Leonidas no longer has the ability to fully harm the gods, meaning this blow did no damage regardless, or he was pretty much dead already, he had nothing left in him. That's what resulted in him pretty much disappearing right after that. Regardless, Apollo was able to dominate in the climax and defeated Leonidas, demonstrating his insane power. something over the strongest shield of humanity. Before I continue, consider joining the Discord for chapter links or if you just want to talk more about Record of Ragnarok. Some other things I want to talk about is the conditions regarding Apollo unleashing his power. It seems like he needs to summon the thing known as Moonlight of Artemis, which actually allows him to pull out his bow, potentially his most overpowered ability we've seen so far in this fight, and he has quite a few, with Zeus referring to it as a sacred treasure that he hasn't used since the war against the giants, the one where all the Greek gods were facing the giants which were led by Gaia, the flashback we got to see for Hades, which begs the question of why we didn't actually get to see Apollo in this flashback. It would have been pretty cool to actually get him revealed for the first time in this before he actually came out in his fight, especially if he has a pretty OP ability that probably had a major role in this war, so that's a little unfortunate, but the flashback is still dedicated to the likes of Hades mostly. It's his claim that this is the last time he actually used it. So regarding the power of his bow and arrow, it's claimed to have pretty much light speed on multiple instances throughout this chapter, and we see this pretty much demonstrated. He was able to absolutely blitz Leonidas multiple times with it, and pretty much everyone in the crowd as well, with it having pretty much durability negating. So far throughout Record of Ragnarok, there hasn't really been too many characters with more so defensive abilities, outside of Beelzebub and pretty much Leonidas. Of course characters can block, but they don't really have natural defenses, especially against an attack like this, meaning it's probably going to work on a lot of gods that I'll break down in my future Apollo versus everyone else video. And the one moment where Leonidas was able to deflect it was due to really instinct, the experience he has of facing arrows throughout his entire life, not really being able to see it or having the speed to keep up with it. It was this pure raw ability, which of course makes sense considering who Leonidas is, the Sigma and absolute mad lad of the series. And when he deflected it, he was able to send it back and actually slice up Apollo's arm, which did major damage, proving once again the lethality of Apollo's bow and how it even works on the likes of gods who naturally have superior durability when we don't count in the volumed amp to the humans. This of course explains why it's the strongest bow in the world of the gods. I think it's safe to say that the art in the final clash of the fight was absolutely peak, and the final chapter of the fight was peak as a whole. Of course it was shorter than pretty much every other fight in the entire series. However, regardless of that, I don't think it was particularly bad. I still really enjoyed every moment of it. Of course, a lot of us wanted a little more from Leonidas, whether that be him actually winning. Based on everything we got in the story, I think Apollo was a much better character and I definitely preferred him by the end of the fight. I talked about this in pretty much every other video, how I'm beginning to like Apollo more and more. This, with the conclusion, just amplified that to the extreme. Probably one of my favourite gods in the entire series so far. And even regarding the length of the fight itself, it was 9 minutes and 10 seconds, which is on the shorter side compared to a lot of the fights. So as a whole, a very short fight, but hype regardless. I probably wouldn't put it in my top 3, around middle range when it comes to the fight ranking. Of course, stay tuned for a future video going over the entire fight, my round 10 predictions, and a full breakdown of how strong both fighters are. Subscribe for more Record of Ragnarok content, check out the other stuff in the description, but that's it guys, peace.